Hello everyone! Today I will be sewing this shrug. I am Marjolein, Turin, designer of Somnia Romantica. Here you can see some of the pieces that I make.
Kind disclaimer, I am a small independent fashion designer living from my fashion designs, which are all made as one-of-a-kind or very limited pieces. Please do not copy my designs. Seeing it as inspiration for your own ideas is absolutely okay though. I'd love to hear about your projects in the comments. Note, this is a peek over my shoulder, it's not a tutorial. I'm self-taught, which means I have no official education in sewing, tailoring or fashion, nor do I master the official techniques. I work in a quite unconventional and often intuitive way. Of course, the world of sewing is huge and diverse, and I hope that showing my way of working is a nice addition.
I'm starting out with choosing the materials. In this case it's some lovely trim, some scalloped vintage lace and this soft ivory lace. As you can see, I loosely follow the pattern. They are only a sort of guideline for what I do. The puff sleeves I cut out of freehand. And here I'm going to the sewing machine. This is the serger. Here I'm pleating the sleeves, the puff sleeves. First I am pleating them to the mid. It means that I pleat them one way and then the other way from the mid on. I think that's the nicest. And then I just make sure I give all the seams a nice finishing with the serger. This makes sure that they don't fray. This is also lace that does not fray easily, but still this is always the way to go. These are several parts of the bodice and then the big sleeves. My serger wants to run away because it's so yeah, what can I say? Yeah, we're done. Onto the sewing machine. Hi, there I am. Here I am first sewing the lace for the biceps onto the puff sleeve. And I'm just fumbling the puff sleeve a bit to make it fit exactly the right way, as I also did the pleating hands-free freehand. There you go. And then I sew on the lovely trim. I really love this trim as it's scalloped on both sides. I make sure that you still see the upper side of the scallop lace and that just after that the trim starts. Here I wiggle along with the flowers, not totally on the edge but just close to the edge so that it will still look nice. Then I'm making the bodice. First sewing the back parts together with a straight stitch, and then I will decorate it with trim that I will mirror. First sewing it flat so it stays nice and flat, obviously. That's the trim. This is really lovely trim for a backside, I think. Also front side, but really nice trim to mirror. Here I am cutting it evenly and sewing it onto the back. After that I'm going to make the pleats that go all around the shoulders and back of the bodice. This is lovely scallop trim that I cut in half. It was a broader trim, and if you cut it in half then you have two wavy sides that are mirrored. I pleat it on the smallest part and the widest part, and here I'm actually midway. There I use the other half and make sure I sew it on mirrored. To pleat this correctly and not too uneven, I use the pattern as a reference, so I know exactly this curl has to be pleated onto this part of the flower and such, and that's my reference. And then when you do it mirrored, you use it, yeah. You do the pleats the other way around, and then you have a nice and sort of even bodice. because this has such big scallops, it's really distracting when it's really uneven. Again, I'm looking at the other side to see if I'm still at the right place with the pleats. Then this is the mid back. And there I sew it together and sew it flat so it won't flip around. Then I use a smaller trim on the outer side. This was all sewn on the inside and this is sewn on the outside. This way the serger seam is all covered in lace from both sides. And I use many little pleats. This is very soft lace, really nice to wear. And I make sure the pleats are mirrored from the mid to the sides. And there I'm at the end. I'm curling it up and sewing it, and it's done. Then, because the bodice is finished, I'm sewing in my label. Yeah, I always do this separately so that people who do not like labels can just remove them without ruining the garment. Here I am pleating the big bell sleeve. I'm doing this with only a pleat on the smallest part, narrowest part, because then you see as much as possible of the lace. All the way around. And here, this lace, it is really lovely lace, but it came in several parts. So I sometimes have to invisibly sew another part onto it. I'm rolling the end of one piece into the beginning of the other piece so you do not see it. And then I can go on. And then we are at the end, and then I do exactly the same. I roll the parts into each other in such a way that you do not see it. This is lace that as good as does not fray, so I can easily do it this way. Then with the smaller lace I am pleating it. Here you can see it from up close. I did this on I included this part without speeding up so you can see how I do this. I press the lace flat and make sure that it goes flat into the foot, otherwise the lace will flip around and that is so annoying. Here was at the end. Back to the serger. Here I'm sewing the biceps, the upper arms, the puff sleeve is already attached, and then I will go onto the sewing the sleeves onto the bodice, I think. Oh, first the inside of the bell sleeves. There you go. And now we will go to sewing the sleeve onto the bodice. I'm also doing this a bit slow so you can maybe follow it, but I'm not sure. I'm really working on making this part very clear. So you see the upper side of the puff sleeve, of the upper side, the inside of the puff sleeve, and under it is the bodice, and I'm pleating it onto it. And when I come to the shoulder seam, I'm pleating it the other way around, so it makes a nice puff from the mid shoulder on. Almost all volume of the puff goes on the upper side of the shoulder of the armhole. And yeah, I will do this from 2 camera angles at some point. Yeah, then I was sewing the bell sleeves onto the upper arms, but I did not adjust the camera. Yeah, here I'm asking my love if it was in focus. And then I sew at the mid back of the bodice, I sew little satin roses on the point where the mid-back of the trim meets the lace. I always do many knots and double threads and very sturdy thread, Gutermann, and I sew through the edges of the roses, but not totally on the edge, but almost on the edge, and always make sure to include 2 of the pleats of the rose into one part of sewing. Into one stitch. Yeah, then I am done. I am putting the shrug on my dress form. I have this nice piece of curtain that I'm hanging on my closet. I have hooks on my closet there I can hang it on, and then attaching the arms, puffing the sleeves, pinning the arms because this is a very slim dress form, and then the camera to make nice pictures from all angles. I'm so happy with this dress form, as you can adjust the arms, you can even bend them a little, and that gives way more an idea of how your garment looks on a real human. Backside, adjusting it again, it was floof. Making new pictures. Again, close-ups, angles. Always when I make the angles, I make sure the arms are a bit repositioned, otherwise one arm will look huge and the other very small. And then we are done. So this is the final result. I'm showing a few close-ups so you can see all details. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Likes and subscriptions are always much appreciated. Also, I have a Patreon. You can follow me there. Thank you so much to Lisa Rook and Nicolien Korthagen for supporting me there already. See you in the next video. Bye bye!